So the RSM player performance study came about through a partnership between the European Tour and RSM. I got involved as the academic consultant on carrying out this piece of research, and the idea is that we're trying to understand what drives performance in these elite golfers on the European Tour. We launched the project at the British Masters in October 2016. And what we're trying to do is to understand performance in these professional golfers. And the key things that we've been looking at are their pre-shot routine. And then probably the key measure for us is the time that these players spend at the ball over address. So from the club going behind the ball when they start to address the ball through to impact, how long is that time? And if that time varies, does that have an impact upon shot performance? This season in 2017, we were at 4 tournaments collecting data. So 4 tournaments, 304 rounds of golf, 43 different players, 23,000 shots. So we were at the BMW PGA Championship down at Wentworth, over in Ireland for the Irish Open, up in Scotland for the Scottish Open, and then finishing off at Close House for the British Masters. The European Tour Player Council, they knew about this going on and it was all approved, and we asked players, did they want to get involved? Did they want to understand more about their performance? And we had quite a lot of players actually come forwards and say, yeah, we want to know more, and so they got engaged in the study. We then picked players that would be interesting to follow, either because they've got a chance of winning, or what we tried to do is get a spread of players, because one of the key findings that we've got from the study is actually what happens around the cut line. So what is the difference between making the cut and not making the cut. So those 43 players are a real range of players. There are some first-year pros in there, and then there are some, if you like, seasoned veterans. The key finding for us is that when players are a little bit quicker over the ball, they tend to play better shots. So that's kind of manifested in, if we look at the group sort of average, kind of what happened. When players were a little bit quicker than they would normally be, they made 16% more good putts, so putts that are gaining strokes. And if we look at par 5 approach shots, they hit 20% more greens when they're just a little bit quicker over the ball compared to what they would normally do. We're actually convinced that this will help amateur players. First of all, establishing a pre-shot routine. If you don't have one, players are often fixated on the outcome. Where did my ball go? That was a good shot, bad shot, rather than thinking about the process that leads to the outcome. Part of that process is having a good pre-shot routine. Working with their PGA professional can help them to develop that. Being around golf courses a lot and seeing a lot of amateur players, compared to the professionals that we were looking at, they spend an awful long time over the ball at address. If they maybe thought about how can we make that a little bit shorter, they may play better shots. And one of the key reasons for that is that as golfers, we know if we stand over the ball, what tends to happen if we hang around a little bit is thoughts come into our head. There could be a negative thought. You could think about the out of bounds on the right, or the trouble that's in bunkers on the left, and then all of a sudden you're thinking about the bad outcome, or you're thinking about your technique, and it changes how you move the club, and then that leads to a poorer shot.